curious, like, what's been your experience in building out security data lakes, and what lessons do you have from that?
I have two really big ones, which is when you ask for budget, you probably want to ask for double your budget because everybody once they find out, oh, I have this place I can stick this useful data, wants to put their data there, and then they see your awesome report, and they want an awesome report too, and so they want to retrieve from there. So taking the time to meet with somebody who's an expert in sort of designing the cost for something to be at the scale that you're at, I think is super important. So if you're a startup like Rabbit, you probably don't have to dig super deep into that. But at some of the other places I've worked, if I said, "Oh, I'm going to create the security data lake," a bad architecture decision could add on like three zeros to my cost, and that's not great. I think starting off with a good design on how am I going to make this work for the amount of data that I want to put into it. The other piece is I'm a really big fan of queues, like AWS SQS and an AWS Lambda function. With those two things, I can do a lot of really cool stuff with all of my services. And whether that's pulling the latest logs off of an API from a vendor or taking an actual action, making an API call to disable somebody's account, it's sort of those two building blocks. And so when you're planning things out, figure out which your key Legos are going to be, and then just make those super approachable for anybody who wants to pick them up. I built out again, just like a super simple S3 data lake with some SQS, Lambda, and ECS. And I documented the SQS usage and the ECS task usage very, very well, and it didn't document anything else. Went on vacation for a month. I came back and I have new detection tools. I have new data sources, but they're only using those two Legos because those were the two Legos that I documented really well. So when you're building it, pick like what your core technologies are going to be, and then make it really easy for anyone to come up and add to. I think that that's super super helpful.